Why don't we bump this party up? You guys ready? Ladies and gentlemen, Thirsty Thursdays brought to you. Here we are. White Claw, Ruby Grapefruit, and your boy, Dave Neal. We're coming at you live from Los Angeles. Not a sponsor. Not popular enough for sponsors. You'll know when I got a sponsor. I'll be wearing a gold chain that says Geico on it. I don't care. We're ready to go. Hello, everybody. How are you? Good to see you. Good to see the chat room. Yeah, these are the new ear monitors Oz was talking about. I think I got these for like $40. You know, they connect just like headphones would, but what's funny is after I got these ear monitors, everyone was like, nice haircut, Dave. And the truth is that I was just wearing headphones before then. So... Carla's in the house. Carla Ochoa. Hi, Dave. You always work so much and so dang hard. Major props. Well, we are here with some crazy news. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but is this not a wild week for Bachelor Nation? What the hell is going on out there? This is good music. What is going on out there? Our good friend Colton Underwood comes out of the closet. He's gay. We're celebrating that. We're not saying, oh, we knew all along. We're saying, you know what? Whatever you want to identify as something you're attracted to, I support it. As long as it's fair and legal, I support you out there. You know what's so funny is these pop-up ads. Like, I know that guy. He's a comedian right there. And there I have to go see him living his success story as a pop-up ad. All right, folks. So here's what's going to happen. We got a nice open chat. I'm sure we got plenty of voicemails coming in. People can leave voicemails. You know, due to the good nature of this channel doing well, we can't always get to all the voicemails. I wish we could. I just played 58 minutes of your voicemails earlier today regarding the Colton Underwood situation. Abby Reed says, even my boyfriend said Dave got a nice haircut. Well, thank you. I mean... It is a good haircut. I got a good haircut happening. The lettuce is flowing. We have good cheddar, good flow. I use castor oil. That's my secret. It's very cheap. Castor oil is not expensive, and it gets the job done. I wash my hair. I put a little bit in while I'm still in the shower. That's what I like to do. You know what? Put a little castor oil on those crow's feet at night, and let that puppy soak in. Speaking of puppies, what's going on? Oh, look at this. That's not a puppy. This is my new backyard grill. It's not a grill. It's a bar with a little fire pit that goes on top. Not bad, right? Not bad at all. Wanted to share this with you guys. Some new home renovations. All right, that's for later. Nothing to see. Move along. That's for Colton Underwood. Nothing to see here. Just came out of the closet. No domestic violence or anything. Hey, look at this. I got a little sun today putting these together. Pretty nice, right? These little puppies I bought in South Central. Tasha found a good deal on Facebook Marketplace, so I almost got jumped. I thought I was getting jumped. Turns out I think the lady who sold me these had like a warehouse in her front yard, and I'm going to talk about this on my vlog, but I think what happened was, I think she did one of those crate auctions. You ever heard of those crate auctions where you just buy a crate and you don't know what's inside? It's a bunch of return stuff. I think that's what this was, because it was straight in the box, and I was like, it wasn't stolen. I don't think they stole it because they were selling a whole bunch of random things, but I got a pretty good deal on these. Yeah, they took a little while to set up. I got a little splinter I haven't gotten rid of, but we got those on the AstroTurf. That's what one of the next vlogs is going to be. Is going to be me finding this AstroTurf. I bought this off a guy on Craigslist, and then we bought these off of some lady on Facebook, put them together, and then you know, we'll have a full vlog set up for that. But look at some of these images I've been getting. Let me ask you guys this: is this the same dog as that? Are these different dogs? That's not the same TV setup, right? Because we got a little plant here. This isn't the same dog. Am I losing my mind, or are those different dogs? I figured the same person sent me their dogs, and then I was like, oh, no, those are different dogs. You guys don't care. 80 degrees in Vancouver, Oz. Sounds pretty nice. All right, Caitlin Weaver is in the chat room. Hello, Caitlin. Caitlin's talking about Colton. I guess that's what we're going to do, is talk about Colton, right, guys? Let me take a second here, and I'm going to turn the vocals off and only play instrumentals. So let me do instrumental songs. That's what I'm going to do right there. I have the option to play vocals or instrumentals. So I don't know if you guys heard. I'll tell you what, yesterday the YouTube channel got 1 million impressions, which means 1 million people saw this guy's face or whatever thumbnail I had. And some of you guys decided to watch that video. And we've got, what, I think 5 or 6 videos already about the Colton Underwood situation. I mean, you know me, we could talk all day long about it. I think we're all on the same page. So how do we move forward? I think we all agree, good for you, you came out of the closet. We also all agree that it's suspect, that he's got a docuseries on Netflix coming out, and he's going to be profiting off of this, which would be fine if you weren't the star of a heterosexual dating series in which you ended up stalking and abusing your ex. I think that's the hang-up we all have, you know, to put it bluntly. So the question is, what do we do now? Colton's going to have plenty of opportunities to talk about coming out, which means he has plenty of opportunities to talk about the stalking that he did to his ex. And we're just going to have to wait for that to happen at this point. We're going to have to wait and see if he talks about it. Some people say, hey, Dave, maybe he signed an NDA. Let me tell you something. If you want to make right, if you want to do what the right thing is, you don't hide behind an NDA. NDAs are for cowards. And some people say, well, maybe he signed it. Maybe Cassie didn't want him to talk about it. Look, people were calling Cassie a liar. People have sort of thrown her name in the trash over this. She did nothing wrong. She did nothing wrong. There's no way she signed an NDA saying they can never talk about it again. He paid her. This is what I suspect, right? This is what I allege. I allege that he paid her a sum of money for them to never talk about this again, for her to drop the charges and never talk about it again. I thought maybe when she dropped the case, maybe he came out to her then, but she says she was blindsided by it. So we have to talk about that. What do you guys think, chat? What do you guys think? Van Slam is in the house. Yeah, Ash and Kirsten, crazy. 1 million impressions. We had 150,000 views yesterday off of 1 million. 1 million impressions. And all we're supposed to have is a slow off-season, right? Move along, folks. Nothing to see here. I'm not angry. But I am starting to think I'm a little not in the right mindset because not enough people are up in arms over this. Now we are. We're up in arms. I'm no saint. None of us are. We're all normal people trying the best with the information we have. I've cried. I've spilled tears over girls. I've been heartbroken. I've binge watched the show Twilight, or the movie series. It's a show. I watched that. You know what I mean? I'm a sensitive guy. I've had my heart broken. I've been ghosted on, and I've begged people to tell me why they ghosted on me. I always had a bit, you get ghosted. When you get ghosted on, you have to keep messaging the person who ghosted on you, but you have to just keep on sending them decreasing levels of technology. Send them a text, no response. Write them an email, no response. Slide them a fax. Just slide them the fax. Go in for it. When you get ghosted on, it's because your marketing's off. It's because whatever you presented to the person initially, you couldn't follow through with. That's what I have good hair, so I can't follow through on the charismatic nature of this hair. I don't have it in me, guys. He wasn't ghosted. He was dumped, and then he jumped over a fence in Portugal or Myanmar, wherever the hell they were, with no passport, and he was going to find his way to the American embassy and try to get home. That's what he was going to do. And we thought, yo, man, romantic, go on, get what you want. But now we know it was more about control. He was battling over his own sexuality. I don't feel entitled to even try to understand what he was thinking, but we do have to have compassion there that the man, through religion, through football, through all these different forces, had a hard time coming to grips with his own sexuality. Ghosting is very rude. I was ghosted on, And she finally, it took her like a month. She finally got back to me. And I was like, here's what I learned about ghosting. Let me know if you guys agree with me on this. When you get ghosted on, it's like, this is how I feel about getting dumped in general. It's like, a lot of times when you get dumped, you just wanted to pursue the relationship longer till you found out why you didn't like that person, so then you can dump them. That's all it is, right? It's like half the times I was getting dumped, it's like, look, I wasn't going to marry you, but I wanted to get rid of you on my own terms. I feel like that's what it is. Leah's in the house. Leah's never been ghosted on. No way. Leah would not take that. No way. We got a Michigan 10 over there, and Leah is not... Leah, have you ghosted someone before? Let me know. Don't lie about it. Ghosting is rude. You know, it's what happens. I mean, but then again, who am I? I'm no better than someone who's ghosted on you. I mean, I'm just the type who's kind of like gonna let you know. Someone's knocking next door. Can you hear that? I don't think it's my people. I don't know, folks. I don't know. Vintage Violet. Even if Colton made everything right, Cassie, without the drama, he's just boring. Can't see how he can carry a Netflix series. Well, at least with Netflix, it's highly edited. I mean, my thing is, it's like we're not up in arms enough about Stonewall. Ash and Kirsten, what do you guys think about Stonewall? Have you are you guys familiar with have you guys been up to date on that Colton was filming at Stonewall? So Stonewall In, let's go through the history here, because I'm not an expert. Don't pretend to be an expert. The Stonewall riots occurred in New York City. Hold on, let me get this going. I got to accept that they're going to steal my whatever. The Stonewall riots, also called the Stonewall Uprising, began in the early hours of June 28, 1969, when New York City police, the pop-up ads. When New York City police raided the Stonewall Inn, a gay club located in Greenwich Village, New York City. The raid sparked a riot among bar patrons and neighborhood residents as police roughly hauled employees and patrons out of the bar, leading to 6 days of protest and violent clashes with law enforcement outside the bar on Christopher Street, in neighboring streets, and in nearby Christopher Park. The Stonewall riots served as a catalyst for the gay rights movement in the U.S. and around the world. Look, just knowing Colton, and again, maybe it's not my place to talk. I'd love to know your comments. Knowing Colton has come out of the closet and he's making the docuseries about coming out, and he's got like a gay shaman, right? They're going to go out there and they're going to introduce him to the world. Like, look, we got one. Yay. It just doesn't sit right with me that blood was shed in this environment, and then Colton is going to be the one, like, brand new, starting blocks of his gay life, and he's profiting off of it with his Netflix show. I have a hard time articulating this what the feeling is, because it's like, you guys know me. When it comes to the show and platforms and influencers, I'm like, look, get your money. I don't care. I don't care if you dangle skinny bitch tea in front of me the whole time you do your Instagram TV. You get your money because the Bachelor producers are getting theirs. So if you've been on the show, you have a right to your platform. I guess I just would feel so much better if he owned up and apologized line item with all that he did wrong. I think I'm sounding redundant at this point. Tracy says his sexuality and his behavior need to be viewed separately. It's classic Disney ABC maneuver to try to distract and confuse, to try to change people's view. Yeah, someone had mentioned in a comment how dangerous, like, Disney has been in the past with predators. I mean, look, when you're a large company like Disney that's produced hundreds, thousands of productions, you're going to have people getting violated on set. You're going to have, there's a reason with child actors, you have to, have a parent present, and there's so many rules because people were taken advantage of back in the day, and they still are, but they were taken advantage of more. Look at Nickelodeon. I mean, it's horrifying. Demi Lovato, right? It's so horrifying how people are taken advantage of. That you need people to fight for you when you can't fight. And a lot of people say, oh, Cassie, she's over it. She's not even dealing with it. Leave her alone, whatever. It's like, it is bigger than Cassie. She can decide to drop her case, which she did. She can do all the things she needs to do to move on. But these instances happen every single day. It was heartbreaking to read that 911 call earlier that I read in the last video. The 911 call that was someone ordering pizza And the 911 operator was like, you're calling 911, right? She's like, yeah, can I have a pepperoni? And the person's like, we've got a cop coming right now. She's like, thank you. And they're like, can you stay in the line? She's like, no, that'll be all, bye. It's like, it's not about Cassie. It's bigger than Colton. Okay? It's about hard stop. Hard stop. It's about educating, because jealousy in the social media age, tracking through social media, for all we know, why wouldn't Colton get a tracking device? Maybe he was already tracking her geo signal on her Snapchat. So he goes, oh, if I can track on social media, I guess I can just, and then she disappeared with the Snapchat. Let's just buy a tracking device. It's no different. Like, what got you there, man? What got you there? Nomadic Homebody says he needs private help, no more fame. All right, Ash and Kirsten, I missed your comment. I would say it's not a straight guy's place to tell Colton he's co-opting gay history. Imagine if you said the same thing to a person of color. It's not my... You're right that it's not my place to tell him what he is or isn't doing. I'm just saying every step moving forward without him addressing that past is something that I'm looking at with tainted eyes. You know what I mean? I could care less. I truly mean this. I could... What the documentary may do more for the gay community. Like, it may do a lot for a young football player that might be gay, for whatever young athlete it is, or what, Christian, whatever it may be. That might do more for them. So I'm happy for that. I actually want him to do the Netflix documentary. I do. Because what do I care if he gets super rich? I mean, what do I care if he gets some more followers from it or this or that? I truly mean that. Live like your passion. Be authentic. Be you. I've preached that all along. Be you. It's just the tint through the lens that I'm going to watch this in every single step of the way. It's like, bro, we want to root for you. It's like people that have done steroids in Major League Baseball. Steroid was a big problem, right? And it's like the people that admitted to doing the steroids, once they admitted it, I think a lot of times most people are like, all right, we want to root for you now. A big comeback story. You got off the roids. Let's watch you come back. It was the guys that never admitted it, that never admitted they were cheating. It's like those are the ones you look at and you go, man, asterisk next to your name. Colton Underwood, it's not about co-opting Stonewall. It's about the asterisk that's going to go with him. Leah says, yes, admit it, line by line, and offer help to others suffering with similar toxic love. Well, yeah, because we know he's not going to go away. So if you're not going to go away, use that platform for good. Brianna says, I couldn't care less. Did I say I could care less? Did I mess that up? Oh, boy, I hope I didn't mess it up. ABF says, you guys kind of act like murdered Cassie. I get it. He put a tracker on her car. But is what he did that bad? Do we know what happened? Forgive my question. Maybe I missed something. ABF, there is no such thing as a bad question. I appreciate you asking that. What's so wrong with it? It's against the law to track somebody else, and you can serve up to 365 days in court. So we've talked about this. Tracking device on car, penalty, penal code. So it's a California Penal Code 637.7. It's just against the law, guys. So when he was sending these text messages, which we're not going to go over again, I unearthed them again, but he was sending text messages as a stranger who was friends with Cassie. He said, consider me an old friend. That's what he texted her from an unknown number. Colton also shared with Cassie text messages he also was receiving from the stranger. That's why, and again, accept my apology, Ash and Kirsten. I called him psychotic. If that is, and again, and maybe you could elaborate even more, because I would appreciate, I would appreciate knowing if something seems, and again, because there's no stupid questions here. If it seems psychotic to me, and maybe I'm using the wrong word, so that maybe that's where we're like at a crossroads. But if it seems psychotic to me that someone would create a different cell phone number and send messages, wouldn't that be a psychotic thing to do? I'm not calling him psychotic, but can you not be psychotic and do something psychotic? Do you know what I mean? And maybe I have the wrong term, in which case, please let me know what a better term is to describe the lunacy that he did. So when it comes to tracking her, he didn't just place the tracking device on his car. He placed it on her car, and then he says, "I know you're at so-and-so's house," as the stranger. That's so wrong on so many ways. It's worse than a tracking device because not only did you track the person, you taunted them with it. Thank you, Ash. Yeah, no, I'm here all day to learn. All day, and I talk a lot. I've made 3 hours of content today, plus my podcast. Go to the podcast here. Let's try to do this without. So I made my podcast today, which has nothing to do with Bachelor. Sometimes we talk about the Bachelor, sometimes we don't. But new episode 436, upgrading to a better quality of living. It was just me breaking down everything that's going on with our life in our new apartment. And of course, the private version of that video is on Patreon. Okay, Ash, perfect. So let's just for the people that aren't watching the live stream, Ash and Kirsten are my good friends over there in Canada. I got to get you guys on the pod. I'm gonna message you about that. I'm just all over the place. So I either called Colton psychotic or said what he was doing was psychotic. I don't quite remember. I am being educated on what that actually means and to not call someone a psycho if that is not what they are. Colton's obviously talked about suicidal thoughts. By no means do we want to levy any extra burden on him that he might have also put on Cassie. Do unto others, right? We're not trying to make his life any worse. We're just trying to acknowledge that we want to cheer you on, but it's almost like we can't make any sound with our hands because we're still waiting for you to address the previous issues. It's not so then Ash and Kirsten said, no, it's an obsessive abuse, manipulative thing, not psychotic. Okay, cool. So manipulative, obsessive, abusive. Luis Chopyak. Colton needs a lot of therapy regarding his toxic love towards Cassie and to absolutely apologize to her publicly for all of the things he did, one at a time, outlining how wrong each was. Yeah, I mean, it's got to be as boring as a PowerPoint slide. 1A. I am sorry for placing a tracking device on your car. I realize blah, blah. 1B. I'm sorry for creating. I mean, this might sound redundant to you and I because people said, hey, the guy apologized. What's the big deal? And it's like, and then someone even said, look, Jesus didn't need a specific apology. So what? You can just grab a gun and mow people down and say, sorry there, fam. No. We're evolving. Reading the comments. Leah, quick story. In college, an ex kept showing up at my dorm, sorority house, etc. And I was annoyed first, then scared. And people said, what's wrong with it? Colton needs to say this wasn't okay. Yeah, Leah. Because I'm sure when your ex was showing up, you didn't have your dad there. You didn't have a brother there. You didn't have with Cassie, Brother of the Year award. Her brother's the one who found the tracking device. How were they even thinking? I mean, if I could ask her brother one question, first of all, I'd be like, congrats to you on being a great brother. You set boundaries, you did this, you did that. But how did you have a hunch to look for this tracking device? How many tracking devices are out there that you never find? Read in the comments. Brianna says, has he admitted to the text? Well, he for sure created the text. I mean, he said LOLZ in laws. My thing is this. If he didn't send those texts, the ones that we have screen grabs of that were him, we know those were his. They have his name on them. If he wasn't the one who made the other texts that were intimidating, wouldn't he have apologized? We've had 6 months here. He made the texts. Those were his texts. Apparently, he did admit that to Cassie. We've never seen the proof of that. Jesus Christ says, I want a specific apology. Ladies and gentlemen, Jesus Christ is in the chat. Wow. Amen, brother. Tanya says, waiting for Matt James to come out. Well, that's a whole nother thing. Let's not do the waiting for someone to come out thing. My buddy in college, I've talked about him when he came out. We all kind of thought he might have been gay because, we'd be at a formal and someone would be like, I saw, I'll call my buddy Matt. I saw Matt kissing a guy in the bathroom. And we're like, oh, Matt's drunk, whatever. Like, as long as Matt told us he was straight, we were happy for him. When Matt came out of the closet, we were like, hey, man, you got a friend in me, buddy. We're happy. We're happy for you. Whatever gets you closer to that authentic self, whatever rung on that ladder you're climbing, your true friends are going to be happy for you. You might have friends that are scared. You might have friends that are homophobic and they have a weird fear. Let's just hope they're good enough friends that they're going to love you for who you are, and then they'll overcome that themselves. I mean, that is the truth, is that will exist. Although I've never seen that in my life. I've never seen that. And this might be because within comedy, there is no holds barred with stand-up, obviously. So I've got gay friends, trans friends, queer, people that, identify as different, non-binary, and you all hang out, and in the end of the day, we're all just trying to get on stage and make people laugh and relate to them. Some of my favorite people I have on my Patreon are my gay friends, because we can swap notes and talk about our different lives. Oh, women be acting like this, men be acting like this. Oh, we try this. It's like the more you break down that weird division of I'm this way, you're that way, you realize one of my best gay friends here in Los Angeles, dude, we were out after a show just talking about theater arts in New York City. We both worked in that same part of New York City and went to school there. It's such a beauty to meet people that have different, that are, coming at life with a little bit of a different lens. Melissa says, no one is perfect, so I'm sure Cassie isn't, but evidence is evidence, and she wasn't the one stalking and invading someone's privacy in everyday life. Abby says, I think she showed the proof of the text, and he admitted to the device. Were there other allegations I don't know about? The allegations were the stalking, which Cassie's brother saw. Cassie's brother saw Colton at 3 or 4 in the morning in the alley. Colton apologized the next day to Cassie's brother. We have that text message. That exists. Now, after that, the text messages with the name created were apparently admitted to Cassie. Those are all in the documents that can easily be traced back to him. Same thing with the tracking device. If he truly wasn't involved with the tracking device, get that serial code of that tracking device and find out where it came from. Could you imagine if Colton Underwood was really innocent of the tracking device? Do you know how much stink I would put up to find out who planted a tracking device on my ex's car for her own safety and to vindicate my name? The guy put the tracking device there. Maybe he had a cousin do it. Whatever the case may be. Okay? Brianna says, I think he exploded after Cassie left him because he realized he no longer had anyone to hide behind, and he finally had to face the music. Yeah. You know what I was surprised by? Let me get off this graphic here. The thing that I was surprised by is nobody. First of all, I thought after this came out, I was like, oh, he for sure made COVID up so he could stay with her family. I don't think he made COVID up. But it was an excuse to stay with her after she was breaking up with him. But I'm surprised he and nobody within his circle has talked about the fact that maybe COVID messed with his head. I'm not using that as an excuse. I'm just surprised that excuse wasn't given. I mean, everything from CTE is on the table, whatever possessiveness, growing up in a Catholic school. I grew up in the Catholic world. I have a homophobic close family. Absolutely. Luckily, all of the younger people in my family, I think, are very comfortable with their sexuality, and I like to think that they can think of me as a guy to come talk to. But I do worry about that, because I think part of growing up is not wanting to pass whatever bad habits or traits are down to your kin. You know what I mean? Welcome to Genovia. It's my first time catching you live. Wow, so excited. Hey, everyone, welcome to Genovia. Jessica Lebont, I would bet money that he has another stalker abusive incident with his future partner. You know what doesn't go talked about enough is domestic violence in the gay community. It's not something we should. I'm not going to bring it up. I'm not going to bring up any of the stats right now, but there's obviously a problem, because I feel like within. And I don't know, maybe, if there's any lesbian point of view in the audience, or gay or lesbian point of view in the audience, please let me know. But I know with heterosexual relationships, if a guy's going to lay a hand on a woman, it's kind of no going back from that. And I don't necessarily mean that people don't. I'm just saying it's a very clear power dynamic is crossed when a man punches or hits a woman. Okay? I know through friends in my community of horrific abuse within the gay and lesbian community that maybe doesn't cross that same line as a man hitting a woman. And it's still important to know about. And within, we have so much access to these conversations here in Los Angeles because you do hear about these issues. My point being this, whatever issues Colton had are sort of separate from whatever sexual preferences he has. You know what I mean? He might fall for somebody who doesn't love him back again. And this could happen again. It's just up to him to hopefully figure out all the reasons why and prevent that. I think that's what we're all trying to do. Tracy says, if the basis of Colton's show is addressing his journey, how can they ignore how he treated Cassie? These are very good points. Very good points. Very good points. Anne says, I grew up Catholic and my parents wouldn't care if I came out as gay. And I grew up Catholic and I think my parents have a lot of love, but still consume a lot of conservative, literature that is, God said a man and a woman, you know what I mean? So even good people can have these homophobic thoughts and it can do wonders. I got a whole bit about this I've been doing on stage. It's been a ton of fun. It's been a ton of fun to talk about homophobia with it because, Boston, Rhode Island, New England, we've got our own, there's a lot of homophobia. I mean, it's all over. It's really based on your lack of exposure to, it's so funny how homophobia is so intertwined with a lack of exposure to the arts. If anyone wants to comment about that, please let me know. You know what I mean, though? Getting into entertainment, working on stage and on set and getting into acting and working stunts and doing all these gigs within entertainment, stand-up comedy, you start to meet every type of person. I grew up in a white town with 0 gay people at the time in my high school. Even the guy on the cheerleading squad wasn't out. And we all and everyone comes out at their own time. But the point being is that when you start normalizing culture, when I lived in New York City, you could have an advertisement next to a telephone pole that was 2 guys kissing. I remember when my 2 younger brothers came to New York to visit me and they were young, 10 and 15, right? And I remember walking by that and one of my brothers goes, ew, because there's 2 guys kissing. And that 10-year-old doesn't have a homophobic bone in his body. That was imprinted onto him from parents and from other people. Ew, that's gay. Ew, gross. That's why when I see someone like a Covington Catholic kid with a MAGA hat on, that's when I see someone like a Rachel Kirkconnell, I go, oh, well, we got to get somebody to drink some healthier Kool-Aid than whatever they've been exposed to in their early years. Not everyone likes this. Not everyone likes the ability to understand how Colton, and it doesn't make it right, but it's like, don't you guys want the directions before you put the IKEA dresser together? Don't you want to know exactly what gets someone from point A to point C, D, E? I've been neglecting the hotline here. Let's go to the phones. I want the phones just so I could take a sip of my drink here. All right, let's see if we're set up. Hope we are. Sounds like we are.
Hi, everybody. It's Alexandra from New York calling. I actually just wanted to remind you a story that actually happened on Colton's Bachelor season. Do you remember that Tisha told out Cassie and Kaylin that they were talking in a limo when the cameras were off, that they're here just to be the Bachelorette? If that conversation actually happened, that woman not only didn't get what she wanted, she also got traumatized for the rest of her life by a stalker, abusive, obsessive person who was just lost. It wasn't his fault he was lost, but it's also not her fault that she's going to live with that burden for the rest of her life. So just wanted to remind you of that situation too.
Thank you for the call.
Bye now.
Appreciate it. Yeah, everyone goes onto the show for different reasons. We'd all be liars if we said, if everyone's going to go on there to promote wazoo or their platform or whatever it may be. You hope to have an open heart to find love. And maybe Colton went on there, because he was trying to prove to himself he was straight. I do believe that he thought he was straight.
Brianna from Santa Cruz. First of all, I think that anyone that goes to you is absolutely out of their mind. Second of all, I really hope that they don't try and give Colton some redemption arc as the first gay bachelor, because like you said, there are a million other gay people more qualified and more deserving to be the first gay bachelor. And then lastly, I just wanted to say that, we've been kind of talking about okay, so where do we go from here with Colton? I think the smartest thing would be to, on his docuseries or documentary, do we know if it's going to be a TV show or like a movie? Is it like a multiple part series? Regardless, I think that they should dedicate a segment of it to have him sit down with a psychologist and just go over his transgender progressions and go over, the areas where he really, dropped the ball, so to say. I think that would be the most appropriate thing. And he doesn't have to mention Cassie by name. He can easily do that without, being exact about it. And I think we'd all appreciate that. Thanks.
So, right. He can easily put his story together without us needing to, we know. It's his only girlfriend. It's the only girl he's been intimate with, right? We know what he's talking about. He doesn't have to drag her into it in order to share his story. Absolutely.
Hey, Dave, it's Sarai. I am watching your live chat, but I don't have access to my Wi-Fi on my phone, so I'm just leaving you a voicemail. Date has gone very well. I am still here with him. He's at work right now, but I'm hanging out till he gets back from work, then I go home a little bit later. But yeah, everything's good. I'm wearing a Dave Neal hoodie. But yeah, everything's great. It was as if it's hard to say in words, but it was really good. Anyway, I'll keep seeing you guys up there. All right. Tell everybody to say hi. All right, bye.
Ladies and gentlemen, Sarai went on a date last night. Tasha's here. Hey, Tasha, I want to tell you this real quick. Sarai went on a date last night. Tasha's out the window. We're talking to Tasha. She went on a date last night, one of my live stream viewers, and she wore her Dave Neal merchandise, which I think is a power move to wear on a date with a guy. Hey, you want to bump Harrison's? Well, here's another dude. But she called in today to talk about how her date was. Guess what? Still there. She's still there. She's live streaming. He's in the shower or something. So anyways, Tasha just got home. Hey, Tasha, you want to come in here and tell me about the chairs? You like them? They look nice. They look pretty good. They look really good. I didn't get ripped off. The chairs look good. Everyone in the audience. I showed a photo to everybody over here. The cushion's not super plush, but the wood's actually really nice. It's really strong wood. It took the umbrellas here too. Oh boy. Join the vlog, folks. We got a lot of hardware coming. Sorry? No couch. No couch. We'll have to see what happens with the couch. The couch is supposed to arrive today, the outdoor patio. Anyway, sorry about that, folks. Tasha just showed up here in the background, so I wanted to say hi to Tasha. Congrats, Sarai. Good to hear that your date went well and your Harrisons were bumped. We always appreciate when that happens.
Hey, Dave. It's Kim from Michigan. Calling in regards to Colton. I am a therapist, and I used to work with perpetrators of domestic abuse. And from my experience, rarely, if ever, will they ever admit to it being domestic abuse. I don't know if that makes a difference, but it takes a lot of growth for them to actually move forward and admit to any form of wrongdoing, unfortunately. Thank you so much. Enjoy what you're doing.
Thank you so much for the call. I totally respect, it's not that I respect, I totally understand what you're saying, that people might not admit what happened, but if he at least addresses and apologizes for the specific things, I don't need Colton to stand up and say, hi, I'm a domestic abuser. We can all paint within the lines and understand what's going on. I just want him to say like what got him to that thinking. And I know a lot of times people say, well, that's just going to be him making an excuse. By all means, make whatever excuses you want to make. Bring in your religion, bring in your football experience, bring in CTE, whatever you have to make to tell me how you got from who you were on The Bachelor, jumping over fences, and how you ended up, planting a tracking device. If you could just bridge that gap for me, Colton Underwood, I think that would people would really appreciate that. Let's get over here. Unfortunately, guys, I'm not playing any of the phone calls that are over a minute.
Hey
Sorry.
there, Dave. It's Skip in the LA area, and I do enjoy your videos a lot, and also wanted to give you some perspective, being actually a gay male, black, and over 50.
Wow.
And you're probably wondering why this...
Oh, I lost you. Hold on, I lost you. Let's see what happened. Oh, I was so excited for that call. Let's see if we got you there.
Hey there, Dave. It's Skip in the LA area, and I wanted to give you maybe some little perspective from a caller who actually is gay and black and also over 50. And I enjoy your show. You're a very enlightened, smart individual. So I do appreciate your perspectives. And I think that one thing that everyone should be concerned about with this Colton thing is that, just the mental, or just the behavior, with Cassie, that, that we should all realize that, even though it's great that he has come out and, extremely supportive of that and know what it's like, to experience that personally, that, that doesn't give him a pass, in terms of what he put, Cassie through. And also, he also, once he gets out in the dating world, in the gay dating world, I think a lot of gay men are going to be concerned about his behaviors and stalking as well. So I think he really needs to address that first, because it's, he's still bringing himself as a person, over to the gay dating world. So we shouldn't, forget about that as well. But thanks, Dave. Take care. Bye.
Thank you so much for the call, Skip. I appreciate that. Skip was my grandfather's name, and I don't know if Skip. Let's see. Or you called one more time. One thing. Or you wanted to add something. Let's go back to Skip, because I love. First of all, not enough men call in. Obviously, my stats are 95% women. It's just the nature of Bachelor. But Skip, a gay black man in Los Angeles, over the age of 50. Beautiful voice there, Skip. Love your voice. Saying that Colton basically needs to apologize, because it's like, look, everyone in the gay community is not going to be 6'4" jacked guys like he is. There are people of all shapes and sizes, and someone might be intimidated, and we need to nip this in the bud.
One thing I forgot to add too is that I actually would encourage the Netflix documentary, one, because we don't know the exact content yet, but I think one thing to remember when Caitlyn Jenner came out with her documentary, like on the E! Network, that I think that it did bring attention, to transgender issues and did help educate people. So I do see some positives in this Netflix special, and then hopefully he's doing maybe some community work too, as well as working on himself, and those issues regarding stalking, and especially being in the Me Too era as well. But I think that it is shameful that ABC didn't address, those, stalking issues and the pain that he, put his ex-girlfriend again. So again, just because you're, gay doesn't mean that you get a pass on that. And just from someone who's gay themselves, that, just because you're going to be coming out and there's going to be a lot of people accepting you, that, it's not necessarily going to be all positive when you're going through that transition. I hate to be negative, but because I'm older, I can share some wisdom, and I guess I'm a little bit jaded as well. But because there's going to be some learning processes just dating men in general. So that's it. Thanks, bye.
Thank you so much, Skip. I appreciate it. Call back anytime, Skip. I really appreciate your insight. It's a completely different language. Like I remember when my buddy came out, we both moved to Boston at the same time. And I remember the trajectory he took within the gay community was so different than my trajectory. There's obviously some overlap there, but it is a different community. And when you are, please somebody comment and let me know if I'm overstepping my my thoughts here. But from what I've seen, it's like you are led by like people that are like going to show you the ropes. It's like, all right, you're new to the scene. This is how this works. We go here, we do late night over here. Don't talk to that guy. He's scummy. There's a lot of sort of innuendo that must exist there, which is a different like sort of world from where he's came. Oz is next. The sheriff, you're up.
He's the sheriff here. So let me preface this by saying Colton should go secure the bag as far as the Netflix documentary goes, but and get as much money as he can. It's a free capitalistic society, but I do believe that it's kind of gross that he's profiting off the Cassie situation, and this it doesn't sit right with me, and I hope he addresses the Cassie situation in the Netflix doc. It'll probably be the most watched Netflix documentary in history, and he's probably making millions from it. So more power to him, but it is kind of icky for sure. Okay, thanks everyone, and see you in the chat. Okay,
see
bye.
you in the chat. The sheriff. Thank you so much. I'm getting a lot of texts from people saying, play this guy, play that guy. I'm going to be finding these comments. As far as the Demi conversation goes on E! News, that's going to be a video for tomorrow, folks. I have to be careful what content I play and don't play. I have to upload it, run it through YouTube's check mark to make sure I don't violate any terms. And then after that, I can't have any check marks against me. Then I can upload it. So what I've been doing that's new, you might have noticed yesterday I did with a few videos, is instead of just releasing a video as a new video, I've premiered those videos, and it lets me chat with you guys in real time as the video premieres. Let me know in the chat if you like that. I'll do that tomorrow when I release that new video with Demi, because obviously Demi has come out as bisexual, and she was on Colton's season, so I'm sure her viewpoint will be something we want to hear from. Let's go to Andy in Las Vegas. You're up.
Hey Dave, this is Andrew from Las Vegas. I guess I just wanted to weigh on Colton's situation. So I'm also a gay, masculine, black male, and so I just want to talk about my coming out experience. I think a lot of people think coming out in today's modern age is pretty easy, but I'm pretty hesitant to say that. So when I came out of the closet, I basically got excommunicated by my family and jumped by my friends. And this isn't the news I want to spread, but I think that there's real reasons why he didn't come out, especially being involved in sports. I was also involved in sports on the homecoming court, whatnot. And so, I don't know. I guess I can just sympathize from Colton's perspective of where hypermasculinity, the blindness that it gives off to people. I guess you want to call it the beard or whatever. It can lead people astray, and then when the shock happens, they might not react to it always as kindly as you think. So I guess that's all I have to say is just think about the fears that he's been thinking, because he said he knew since he was about 10. I knew when I was about 10. I came out when I was 20. But yeah, I just wanted to put my thoughts out there.
Hey,
day, dude.
Andy in Vegas, big hug to you, my friend. Thank you for sharing your story. You knew when you were 10, you came out in your 20s. It's got to be a tough amount of time to not sort of grapple with who you are. And I'm really sorry to hear about your story. If you don't mind me asking, don't respond if you don't want to, no worries. But if you don't mind me asking, within the black community, there is a hyper masculinity bravado, and I think it might be harder for black guys to come out. Let me know. What the hell do I know? Okay, just a white dude. What the hell do I know? But this is what I've read. Okay, this is what I've read, and there are obviously different communities. If you're in theater arts as a straight guy, and you decide to come out, theater arts they're gonna throw you. You're gonna be lead of Les Miserables. You know what I mean? Jean Valjean. You're gonna be killing it. But if you're a guy who comes out on the football team, you might have to deal. It's going to be different, right? It's going to be different, a different scenario. So my heart goes out to you for the scenario you went through. All I can tell you, fine sir, is that you were able to handle it, and you're probably stronger and better off now than you've ever been, and you shouldn't have had to. But I firmly believe the soul takes on as much as it can. So you must be a strong guy there, and I appreciate you chiming in. Leave a call again and let me know if you think any of Colton's issues are going to have to do more so with, what did you grow up religious at all? Do you think Do you think, a lot of your issues were just because of, was it fear-based? Again, I might be asking too many questions, but with Colton, I mean, you could pick apart the religion thing, football. I mean, I played football. Yeah, we all made jokes, but I don't know if there was a gay guy on my football team, if anyone would have cared. But just because people wouldn't care doesn't mean there isn't pressure still to not come out. Do you know what I mean? So I totally understand. Let's go to some comments here. AC said, so I'm from an all-white family, adopted. In the area I'm from is mostly 94% white. So this occurred in the upper-class suburbs of the Mid-Atlantic. Oh, thank you so much, AC. I appreciate you, and I love that I can put a voice to your name. I love that I've gotten a chance to know a lot of you, Brianna's and Ash and Leah and Oz and Jen, Ed, everyone. I feel like I'm with my family right now, so I appreciate everyone sharing. Abby says, I like to belt every line of Les Miserables in my house. What's that? On my own, pretending he's beside me. Okay, wow. Yikes. Save me. Wow. Susan left a voicemail. Susan, please tell me your area code again in case I can't see it here. I have been inundated with voicemails. Inundated. Yeah, can we get Abby to sing a song? Abby, will you sing a song for us? Please, Abby, if you don't mind calling in, you know my phone number. Just call in and give us your best song. We'd love some Jean Valjean, if you don't mind. Belting out musicals is my big release. Fortunately, I don't have any neighbors in hearing range. Good to know, Susan. Good to know. AC says, Granddad was a pastor. Parents founded 2 churches and sister used to be a missionary. Well, yeah, I mean, that's a great point, AC. I mean, your family, it's almost like by coming out of the closet, you're almost proving this science experiment of theirs wrong. They're saying, oh, God, this and straight people, and you got to, and then all of a sudden you're like, hey, and then they're like, no, this ruins what we have going on. That's their problem, not yours. Obviously, I'm sure you're aware of that, and it's really heartbreaking. Let's go to our friends over in Canada, Ash and Kirsten. Let's hear from them.
Hey, Dave, this is Ash and Kirsten. Going to leave a quick one. We just wanted to say one component that people are kind of missing here is that there is a lot of adrenaline that runs through your system when you're coming out. It is very intense, and I think a little bit of why people think Colton's apology and reactions and a little bit of why his interview didn't come off as sincere was because he was really experiencing huge dumps of adrenaline, and it was making it pretty hard for him to communicate clearly. And shift between the Cassie topic and his coming out. When you come out, you're too excited. You can't stop smiling. So I think that's just a little bit of a gay perspective for you.
I appreciate the gay perspective. Thank you so much for that. And you got a great point. The adrenaline. Can't imagine the adrenaline. Can't imagine. And that's why, like, when people have said, oh, read into his body language, it's like, no. Listen, the guy came out of the closet. The guy for sure came out of the closet. The question is like, what sort of meetings must have gone in to how they can parlay what would have been national news? I mean, I woke up yesterday morning, before I even released a video, my YouTube had spiked because people were Googling this guy. What the hell's going on? Excuse me. You know what I mean? So, like, I totally understand the fact that they knew they were about to create a wave, so they wanted to build the best surfboard for that wave. They're like, all right, if you're going to announce this, it's going to be a tidal wave. Let's ride this puppy. Let's get Netflix on board. Let's do this. Let's do that. All good. Like Oz said, capitalistic society. It's all good. Just address the Cassie information. That's all you need to do. How easy is that? Let's see if we can find Susan here. I'm trying to look for you, Susan. Oh, 571. I got your area code here. There it is. I found you.
Hi, Dave. Hi, everybody. This is Susan. I haven't got to hear too much. I was in a Zoom meeting, but I was still trying to chat without anyone being able to tell I was typing and not paying attention. But I just want to take a moment and in the context of so many women, so many of us have had times when we've had to get away. And I just want to take a moment and tell you all that I live in the foothills of the Cascade Mountains. I have 2 huge dogs and a gated 10 acres. If anyone needs to get away and get a new start, I have a tiny place, but it's safe. Anyone who needs to get away, contact me through Dave, or I have Art Tyler 2 as my Instagram. So just want to let you all know. And there is pizza.
Susan, you're funny. Because I get some carbo addiction. I'll shoot up the Pacific Coast Highway and I'll see you in about 12 hours. I know how long it takes to get to your neighborhood from mine, about 12 hours. You're so kind and truly, I've said this before to everyone who watches, you know, I try my best to respond to all of the DMs I get. Sometimes it takes me a little bit, which has been truly humbling. I truly mean that. It's been humbling. I personally have no problem with who I am and the energy I give off to you guys. I come from a situation not too unique where my mom grew up and had always told me that my father was abusive. I don't know if it was so much physically. There might have been some physicality there, but emotionally, what are you wearing? Not letting her go out, this and that. She left my father when she was pregnant with me. So we've all got our own stories. You know, we've all got our own stories, and I might not be on the Cassie side of things, but I am on a side of things where I understand that even though people do try the best with the information that they have, we resort to different tactics, some psychological, manipulative, some physical, you know, and that's just who we are. And we can try to do better, and we can learn, but there's a lot of people out there that haven't put in the work, that don't know what they don't know, and they're dangerous. And I can walk through life and not worry if I meet someone, if they're going to become someone who's going to torment me or stalk me. I have that luxury. I don't have to deal with that. Hey, Tasha, how are you? You want to come say hi? Oh, just say hi. Just wave. Just wave. You look so cute. You got your Gap fleece on.
This shirt is probably, if it's not already, close to 20 years old, and it's held up.
Now, take a little sorority squat there. Just get a little sorority squat. So Susan just called in and said, if anyone, because we've been talking about different issues, and she said she's got a place in the Cascade Mountains if anyone needs a hideout bunker.
Ooh.
And she said she's serving pizza, and I was like, I might not be hiding out from anybody, but I'll come for the pizza if anyone needs some entertainment there.
A little mountain hideaway.
Yeah.
Oh, nice.
Susan's be like, is everything okay? I'd be like, yeah, I just was craving carbs. It's the problem. But how's your day? Good?
Yeah.
Now, I shared earlier.
Are you drinking a White Claw?
I'm having a White Claw.
You fancy
I'm
broad.
being fancy. Colton comes out, and I'm into White Claw. You can change too, folks. So, I don't have to live with my lager. I can have my truth be White Claw. You had posted your disappointment in the situation with regards to ABC. Folks, oh, boy. It's still going. Can you guys hear me? Look, it says live. Oh, geez. Colton, let's see what happens. We might have lost people there. Let me know, folks. Do you guys still see me? We might have been buffering for a second. That's so weird. It says live. Let me know, folks. Anyway, that's never happened before. So something happened and the stream ended and it started again.
Oh, no.
You guys can see me. You can hear me? You can see me? All right. It told me that the stream canceled, but I guess we're back. So, all right. Well, they're there. All right. So yeah, Robin, what the hell's her name? Robin Roberts? I already forgot her name.
2 R's. I don't know.
Robin,
what it is,
whatever
Randolph?
no, Robin Rivers, Robin Williams, Robin Ames, GMA. I just like to get people's name right. Robin, what the hell is her name? Is that her name? Robin Roberts? So Robin Roberts came out of the closet, at least in 2013 to people and hey, Van Slam for the 25. Thank you so much for that. I appreciate it. Thank you so much. Thanks for putting together such a lovely community where hard conversations happen, but an actual safe place. And it's even on the internet. Who would have thought that could exist? Yeah, because I get told people, like I called Colton a psycho, and people were like, people that people that work in the community were like, Dave, that's not what he did. Is not necessarily psychotic, so you have to be careful with the terms.
Because that is a real word.
Yeah, so, I try my best, and, I talk a lot, and I'm not always going to be right. State school education, but the point is that Robin, this is ABC. ABC News is actually considered a very, very fair news source. They're considered very fair. as far as everything goes, they're not like some crazy report. ABF with the California or the Canada 20. Thank you so much. Whatever that is, whatever currency. But the point is that you hoped that, all right, it's going to be on ABC. It might as well. It's going to have like some legitimacy there. But he said he apologized to Cassie, but he didn't go into depth. So like, what's your thoughts about what to do next?
Like, we've seen so many other interviewers go hard on people. Every once in a while we watch something, even like when we were watching that Britney Spears documentary recently, or we were watching Diane Sawyer, like she really went hard on Britney. And you're like, I don't know. I would have appreciated some hard-hitting questions, not fluff. To me, this looks like PR fluff. It looks like he has a great agent, a great PR team.
ICM.
They're putting out this documentary, so they want him on a press tour, and they got ABC, and they probably got ABC to agree to terms to not ask about X, Y, and Z.
Yeah,
which I just don't think is fair.
You'll get the exclusive interview if you don't ask. 100%. I haven't even thought of it that way.
Yeah.
We'll give you the interview.
And you know what?
If you don't ask this question.
Cassie can't talk about it because that part of her settlement agreement had like an ironclad NDA. So it's sort of like the only thing we know about what happened is what was in court documents and police reports, right? It's just, I don't know. But we still know what happened. And he's never acknowledged it. He's never owned up to it. He hasn't apologized for it. And I don't think that's fair. I just don't. I think that women deserve better. And it makes me upset. Like, this isn't 1950. This is 2021. We're not looking the other way and glossing over it. Intimate partner violence is not okay in 2021.
Keep going, Tasha.
No, I'm done.
Come on. She couldn't hear. Come on. You got the whole thing going on.
I'm not
Is that all you got? Jesus, ladies. Someone said when Tasha shows up, the money comes in, and they weren't lying. Let the people speak. Come on. I think Sarah.
Sugar mama over
Sarah
here.
just bought a White Claw. Can you go get a White Claw and join us?
I left the door open. I mean, yeah, I can.
All right, come back with a White Claw. I mean, come on. Sarah, she says, thanks as always, Dave. Enjoy being able to have these conversations and hear all sides and different opinions. I mean, I guess I could get out of here. It's been a while, but go do what you have to do. I'll be here.
Okay.
Are you waiting for the
if you're
sync?
still
you waiting
here,
for the sync guy?
Yeah, if you're still here when I get back.
Yeah, we'll be talking.
Let me just turn my sound on. They're probably going to be here in 15 minutes, but let me just, if you're still here when I get back, I'll bring a White Claw.
All right, Tasha Courtney, everybody. Go bring a White Claw. All right, everyone loves when Tasha joins. What am I, chopped liver? Come on, folks. I love it when Tasha joins too. She comes. I get done with the chat right when she's coming home from work, and she got to walk in. And I told her too, because we're obviously documenting and vlogging all of our things that we got going on in the house. Here's the video right here. Oh, Ash and Kirsten, you guys are so sweet. Thank you so much. Oh, I hit the cheer and the national anthem. That's a fun combo right there. Anyway, okay, there we go. I'm
what the soap opera is
Ash
going
and
on.
Kirsten says, we generally appreciate your perspective and willingness to have discourse. That's why we keep coming back. Well, yeah, I mean, look, it's like, I trust me, as a guy, I don't even know if this is a guy thing. I get very defensive. I don't like to feel stupid. So I understand the feeling of like not wanting to be called out and this and that. You know what happened? I should tell you this. Let me see if I can find. No, I won't read it. I'm just going to paraphrase this. But as you guys know, last week there was like a thread that I was like the conservative voice of The Bachelor, and it was only because I was willing to let people talk. So some people were saying you take the conservative side and you play certain voicemails and this and that. And don't get me wrong, there's people on all ends of the spectrum that think I'm the opposite of whatever they want. I get criticized all the time. But it was interesting because the person created this thread that was basically bashing me. And I didn't read the thread, so I could be wrong. I couldn't come to terms with reading what people were saying about me, and they were kind of like saying like you need to this they were telling me what I did wrong, and I do appreciate some criticism here and there, but when it's piled on, I'm like, oh boy. Well, that person ended up watching other videos, and they said they were completely wrong, and that they were accusing me of pigeonholing my perspective, but they were actually pigeonholing me. And I really appreciate that they could admit to it, as I'll admit when I've got an opinion that might be soured or biased. We all come from a specific place, and we all know what we know, and our opinions are all sort of centered in that place. So we're kind of trying to just generate multiple points so we can triangulate the coordinates here, right, folks? Cassie Hansen in the chat says, in my opinion, Colton doing the documentary makes me very hesitant to fully believe he is being completely genuine and authentic when it comes to coming out. What makes him so special? Well, you got a good point. I mean, your point is that he is going to profit off of it in one way or another, and because of that, there's going to be skepticism, and that's just how it is. That's just how it's going to be, you know? Sarah Winks, I really appreciate you. Really appreciate your generosity. Everyone else, just for hanging out there and hitting the like button, I appreciate all of your generosity. So this is the video that I made. I'm going to play you the first 5 seconds. I'll play you the first 5 seconds of this video because it's not... I tell you what I can do here is I can turn this off. I can't believe it. We're almost at 1,000 subscribers on the vlog channel. But here is a quick opening. I shot these drone shots yesterday, but this is the video of me moving out of the old apartment and into the new place. So that's what this is. You won't believe where we are. So after the first video where you saw us tour 3 places, by the way, I'm Dave Neal and this is Tasha Courtney. Say hi. All right, you guys know where it is. That's where it is. You guys can go check that out. Clearly the 2 people who hit the thumbs down button got dizzy from all of my drone shots and they hit the wrong button. Sometimes when I make all these drone shots, you get dizzy and you accidentally hit the thumbs down button. But I wanted to promote that so people can go check that out. If you just search Dave Neal Vlogs, you see it right there. Dave Neal Vlogs, you'll be able to find this video and all that. So I appreciate you. Tracy says, yes, Colton wants a show, but why did Netflix decide to make it? I mean, Netflix, whatever the pitch was, they knew this was going to be big. They knew it was going to be big. Brianna says, I guess what makes him special is specifically going on a national TV show to find straight love. Yeah, and when it comes to it, like I said before, I truly believe that he was, thinking that he was going to be straight. He was going to live this whole life with his identity sort of there, and he had to change of heart through all of the sort of part of, we call this like a tragic downfall. This is the hero's journey. When it comes to, let's look that up. When it comes to a hero's journey, let's see the hero's journey timeline. Hero's journey, and I know you're not calling Colton a hero, but when it comes to the hero's journey, this is what we look at in film, TV, and literature. The hero's journey, mythic structure of Joseph Campbell's monomyth. To structure or not to structure, that is the question. The 12 stages of the hero's journey. So if this is Colton's movie, The Hero's Journey, ordinary world, grows up Catholic, call to adventure, sure. Football team, maybe he starts to dabble with his sexuality, question himself. He refuses it, and then when refusing who he is when he, becomes the lead of The Bachelor. Meeting with the mentor, crossing the threshold. That's yesterday the threshold was crossed. And then we're going to have all of the issues that come around the different perspectives of the hero's journey. The hero is usually just the main character of the story, right? So the hero's journey can be, it can be pick your favorite movie and there's a hero in it and we're following his or her tragic downfall, their redemption story. The problem with Colton is we can't get to the redemption story until we get to the authentic conversation, which is obviously Cassie. So Tracy says, Colton is not a hero today. Right. Lily with the SEK. What is 59? What is SEK? Thank you so much for the tip. SEK. I'm going to have to look that up. SEK. What is that? SEK currency. Let's see what that. I have no idea what an SEK is. That's just a euro? Oh, convert Swedish krona. Oh, so you're from Sweden. Thank you so much for the Swedish krona. Is it the Swedish crown? I appreciate you so much. Thank you so much for that. Let's get the tunes back and going. Swedish kronen. Thank you, Ann. I appreciate it. That is the Swedish. Oh, Danish, Swedish. What have we got here? Van Slammer says, just his whole influencer thing, and now it feels yucky. Disingenuous. Now he's going to be seen as a role model for all these kids. Meanwhile, he's abusive. Is there anybody in the chat who left a voicemail that I didn't play? If so, tell me your full phone number and your social security. And boy, do I have a multi-level marketing campaign for you. No, just tell me tell me your area code. If you're in the chat and I didn't play your voicemail and you want me to play your voicemail, let me know your area code and I'll try to get to it. Let's see, who's this? What's this here? We got a call earlier today from Pakistan. Let's listen to our friend from Pakistan, because I did ask her like if there was a coming out ritual in Pakistan. I love my international callers.
Hey Dave, Amna here again calling from Pakistan. You asked me to call you and tell you about the gay community here. So as long as coming out is concerned, no, it doesn't really happen so often that people don't come out, but you'll be surprised at the number of people who are actually gay, and especially men. There are many men out there, especially the most good-looking ones. They are in relationship with other boys. It is accepted in a way that people do know that they're dating and stuff, but nobody has the guts to actually come out and announce it like we're a couple or something. People don't do that because of like religious factors of the country. It is not accepted by elders, our parents who are old school. So I know a lot of men who are gay, but they marry women to show their family that they're not. But a lot of people know about them already. So yeah, but if you're thinking that people are not in relationships with the same gender, they are, and they party, they go out, they drink. So it's a lot of people have that concept about Pakistan that's very backward. No, it's not. Like yeah, some areas, some communities they are, but the people who have gone to maybe more educated and stuff, they're very open-minded. There's everything here. People come from like other foreign countries also find it endearing and, surprisingly God-minded. So, yeah. So that's about that. But, yeah, I mean, even if they do think to come out, there is no concept of gay marriage in this country or the religion. So it's not going to be acceptable. So, yeah, that's about it. I hope it helps. And, by the way, I always forget to tell you how much good work you are doing and the way you speak. Very encouraging for a lot of people to come out and speak their mind. Thank you so much for all of that. Take care. Bye.
Well, thank you so much for that call from Pakistan, folks. A different world. You hear that, Tasha? Call from Pakistan. Talked to her earlier today, and I said, please call back and let me know what the coming out process is like in Pakistan. Now, with just some slight, because it's obviously crazy. The world's crazy. We're all at different places. Discrimination and disapproval of the LGBT community is partly due to sodomy being illegal. The Pakistan Penal Code of 1860, which was developed under the British Raj, punishes sodomy with a possible prison sentence and has other provisions. So clearly there's shame along with like societal pressures and legal pressures not to come out. But because of this liberal movement in big communities, there are private gay parties. It's just got to be heartbreaking to think of the fact that people, they have to prove to their family that they're not gay by getting married and then not being their authentic self. So that was very interesting. Thank you so much for that phone call from Pakistan. It's truly humbling to think that we have such perspective coming from all over the globe. I mean, it really is. I would not have expected a year ago to be in a sort of this position where we hear so many different touching stories.
Hey Dave, this is Eric Cole calling from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Truly appreciating all this information you're providing regarding Colton Underwood and whatnot, and the support you're showing. Wanted to mention something that there has been a couple of shows where there have been gay matchmaking programs, like what you mentioned in one of the last broadcasts. One, something I think was called Finding Prince Charming, something like that. And the other one was, I think, like an MTV or something about 15 years ago. And this girl, a woman whose best friend is gay, and she was trying to help him select on a ranch somewhere in Palm Springs, select a guy that for him to fall in love with. So there are two programs where they've actually had the gay contestant went through a series of bachelors trying to find his love interest. Anyway, thought I'd mention that. Maybe you can look into it. Take care. Thank you for all of this. It's been interesting.
Well,
Bye.
Thank you so much. I appreciate the phone call, Eric. And very interesting too. Lance Bass is the host of Finding Prince Charming. Never heard of this. What network was it on? Looks like it was in 2016. So clearly maybe didn't make the cut, or it's ABC. I don't think when it comes down to it that they truly give two craps what type of show they have, whether it's heterosexual or whatever. I just think they're in the business of making money. And when it comes down to it, a heterosexual dating show is the put it this way, a white heterosexual dating show is going to be the largest market you can make a show about. Now, that doesn't mean that's the only show that should exist. That just means that's the greatest market within the U.S., and I think these big companies are just risk adverse. That's why people go to Netflix and HBO or Hulu. They go for different niche shows, because you're not going to find The Wire on ABC at 8 p.m. You're going to find Young Sheldon at CBS. You're going to get The Good Doctor. Okay? The hell are they doing? You're going to get NCIS season 92. They're going to get some real generic stuff because they're risk adverse. That's why I hate it when a good show is on like Fox, because I'm like, oh, you're ruining a good show. But, that Kevin Bacon show, The Following, was so good. It was so good. And it was on network TV. And I was like, oh man, the show would be so much better if it was on like HBO, where they could really explore, because the FCC ruins everything. But I digress. Blue Bloods. There you go, folks. Blue Blood. I used to do background on Blue Bloods. I used to do it. That's right. All right. What do you guys say we do the home stretch? Did I miss anyone's voicemails? Let me know. I got a lot of voicemails. Let's see. Here's one that I didn't play. Let's see who this is. I'm a little nervous.
It's Brianna from Santa Cruz.
Oh, it's
calling
Brianna.
it before your live starts on is it Thursday today? Anyways, I just first wanted to say congratulations to Colton. It is very commendable of him to come out and, be brave enough to say this, especially on live TV. So I appreciate that he did that. And I agree with your caller, Hannah from Texas, that I can kind of compartmentalize this against the situation with Cassie and, be happy for him, so to say. But I do hope that, and I really hope that he doesn't use this kind of as a way to hide behind that. And I really hope that he doesn't in the future, if people, do try and make him accountable or do confront him about the situation, that I hope he doesn't try and kind of use this as but I came out, so you can't be against me sort of tactic. I hope that he doesn't do that. I hope that he does address it, even if like people have been saying, what if it's an NDA? There's other ways around that. He can just be culpable for his own actions and say, I've done some very, very, psychopathic things like creating fake phone numbers, etc. Anyways, just my thoughts. Love all that you do. Talk soon.
Thank you so much for the call. I agree.
Hi, Dave. It's Brianna from Santa.
You do get, when you put yourself in a position like he has, you got to be careful, because you're going to be monetizing it one way or another. It's kind of like with my YouTube channel. I have ads on my videos. I make money off of them. I have to be sensitive to that when I'm talking about different topics. In the end, people come online to watch content regardless of what it is for two factors: entertainment and or informative. So as long as I do my part to be informative, to be on what I believe is the right side, and not the right side in the sense that that's the side that people want me to be on, but using my own critical thinking skills to be like, how are we going to talk about this and be sensitive and be delicate? I can be flippant about a lot of things. If we're talking about Dale's toes, I'll get as flippant as possible. We'll go into Dale's toes hard. But if we're going to talk about a controversial topic, then we get a little hot potato. We got to be a little gentle about it. So with regards to Colton, bro, you're allowed to make your money by telling your story. You monetize that because Netflix is going to make money off of it. Your agent's getting 10%. Your publicist is getting money. They're all going to be making money off it, so you do it too. But with that said comes the respect for the people that came before you. And that's kind of what I talked about with the Stonewall riots, is the respect of not to say he's not giving that respect, but I want to see that through sort of a neutral place. And as a audience member, it's just not neutral. Like Colton's journey to finding himself and whatever the docuseries, it just won't be neutral to me until we make amends and atone for the issues that he created through his own, hurt people hurt people. That's what they say, right, folks? All right, we're going to get out of here in a minute. Let's wrap it up. I apologize to anybody in the chat if I missed any of your comments. Han Solo, Texas, loves Bad Girls Club. I put that up for you. Brianna says, what I loved about... Marion says, people should not be judged for their sexual preference. However, people should be judged and confronted and apologize for the abuse. Absolutely. It sounds like we're all on the same page. I mean, it blows my mind. I mean, this is one of those topics that I think for the most part has had the most universal agreement over. We talk a lot about things. People see Rachel Lindsay this way. People see Matt James that way. People say Rachel Kirkconnell. People see Luke P. Everyone's got their opinions on certain things. But I think we've broken this situation down ad nauseum. Feels that way to me, but we keep on getting new people coming to the chat that want to talk and that go, hey, what was so wrong about what he did? And I go, hold my White Claw if you really want to know. Take a seat. We'll talk. But we broke this down ad nauseum to the point where I think any rational person understands that it was wrong. Because with information, by unearthing the information, we put ourselves into a place where we go, all right, we're not making flippant and half-assed thoughts about, what might have happened. We know a lot of facts on this situation. And if this were up to a jury, it wouldn't be looking good for Colton. All righty. Trash reality TV, that's right. Play set. Oh, thank you so much, Van Slamma. Play 571 voicemail. There it is. Virginia.
Hi, Jade. This is Steve from Virginia with Van Slamma. I just wanted to say a few points. First off, I think hurt people hurt. So I'm trying to have empathy for Colton, which is really hard. But I think more than that, I do think that he needs to go and get professional help. He needs to see a therapist. There's a lot of issues happening with him. I think there's clearly a problem with him needing acceptance and all of these things. And, when a person is portraying domestic abuse sort of things, it's about control. And clearly he's been hurt in the past because only hurt people hurt. So I don't know what that's all about because I'm not a psychologist. And that needs to be in depth more. But what I'm really concerned about are 2 points. First off, the mainstream media or people with larger platforms need to be talking about his domestic abuse issues. This is a major problem in the world, and guess what? It happens everywhere, and now we're seeing that we're just ignoring it with another white male of privilege in a sense, and yes, he's gay, but he's still a white man and he's getting away with this. And I don't want to make this about race or anything, but there's a male privilege happening, and this is what misogyny is all about. Two, I'm really concerned that after he has his moment of fame with coming out or whatever and being the role model, then it will finally come out, and then people are going to wrap this up with becoming homophobic. And I just don't think it's okay. Like, they're going to start making it being gay, and then it can make you be violent and, abusive to women or men or whatever. And I just don't want that to happen. I'm sorry. This might have been over a minute. I'm really sorry. Thank you. Bye-bye.
2 minutes and 1 second, but that's okay, Van Slamma. You can talk as long as you want on my book. I appreciate your phone call. Thank you so much for all that you're sharing. It's weird because I operate in a place where, I'll never know what it's like. This is what I have to say that might sound wrong if someone clipped this on its own. But I think I want to be open with you guys. Excuse me. Being a straight white guy doesn't mean I've got the access code to everything that exists in the world. It just means I can walk through a 7-Eleven and not get followed. I can go to a hotel and use the bathroom, whether I'm staying there or not. I can get my resume to the top of the line because I have a white name. So there's certain issues where absolutely a straight white male, boiled down to, is a privilege. And we've talked about other types of privileges in the past. Colton, regardless of coming out of the closet, still has the privilege of being an attractive, wealthy, white male. Absolutely. And with that privilege, though, can come a platform of opportunity for him to speak up and advocate for others. Hasn't happened yet. But I do appreciate your call. Thank you so much. Thank you. Being gay is no big deal. Putting a tracking device in your ex's car is. I don't care how confused you are about your identity. Being confused shouldn't make you go bonkers. That's right, Carolyn. Yeah, because he did say in the quote, like, he was still trying to, like, come to terms with his straightness. And I really do hope that he doesn't get it twisted that most people that come to terms with coming out of the closet or whatever their identity is, they don't torment somebody. That's what he did. He tormented Cassie. Loved by You is still waiting for Cassie's apology. But I don't know if we have time to get into that. But please call in if you want to defend that statement. Tracy Dove says, yes, domestic abuse is the primary concern. Colton and Netflix are using his sexuality as a shield to shut down opposition to the show. Lily Marie says, I think that women get a really off feeling from Colton not addressing the whole tracker and stalking behavior because we all know what can come at the extreme end of that kind of obsessive behavior. And as I mentioned earlier, and I'll get out of here shortly, but as I mentioned earlier, it's not even just the tracking device. It's what he did with that information. He used the tracking device to message her from an unknown number saying he knew what she was up to. I mean, way worse than just a tracking device. Loved by You says, no, sorry, I meant an apology for Cassie. I understood that's what you meant. Don't worry, I understood what you meant by that. No problem. Brianna says, and the bigger point in that most reasonable people are willing to forgive people who make terrible mistakes as long as they hold themselves accountable. Just says, the apology to Cassie or by Cassie? To Cassie. She meant the apology to Cassie. I got you. We're all good here, folks. So anyway, you guys do me a solid, if you haven't yet, and check out my vlog. I got to get out of here. Let me see if there's any last-second voicemails that came in. Tasha's home. We got to get ready for dinner. We had someone coming by to fix the sink, so I got to go. I want to thank you guys so much for everyone sticking around this live chat. You calls from Pakistan and the Cascade Mountains and Florida and Pennsylvania and Virginia and Arkansas and all Canada. You guys have all been amazing. Skip, thank you for your first call, the first two calls. I appreciate hearing your point of view. And Andy in Vegas and anyone else I might have forgotten. Van Slamma, you guys have all been amazing. I really am so humbled. I don't trust me when I say I truly am floored that this exists, that people are talking to me about it. And it means a lot to me. It means a lot to me, guys. To Winks, Ash, and Kirsten, and everyone else who donated, thank you so much for putting a little bread in the tip jar. And finally, there is a link in the description to donate to Oz's PayPal. Here is the link. Type that into your PayPal. Send Oz some love if you don't mind. He is doing the Lord's work as our moderator. And everyone else that's out there, I appreciate everyone's contribution to this story. And if you haven't done this before, go follow my significant other on Instagram. She's been posting some updates on the house. She's outside cleaning up a little bit, so I feel like I got to go help her before the guy comes to fix the sink. And again, thank you all so much. Good night, everybody. Tomorrow, I've got Demi, E-News, Dale's podcast. I've been writing down your tips. Thank you for helping me come to terms with all this. I will be premiering these videos tomorrow, so hit the alert if you haven't already. When you see the video go live, I'll be in the chat room and we can talk. As always, everybody in the chat, thank you, thank you, thank you. And can you believe tomorrow's already Friday? Bye-bye, everybody. What a jam to go out on. Susan Rich, I forgot you. Much love to Susan. Coming over there for pizza. I'll be there in 12 hours, Susan. See you guys.
Hey guys, it's Abby, and here is the lamest that I promised you all. On my own, pretending here beside me, all alone, I walk with him till morning. Without him, I feel his arms around me. When I lose my way, I close my eyes, and he has found me. In the rain, the pavement shines like silver. All the lights are misty in the river. In the darkness, the trees are full of starlight. All I see is him and me forever and forever. Okay, try to keep that to under a minute. Hope you guys are happy. Never said I was a good singer. Have a good night.
Abby Thomason, everybody.
Handle the truth.
You can't handle Abby's voice. That was amazing. Thank you so much for that, Abby. Oh, what a blessing. Good night, everybody. I want Abby to sing her cross-examination next time.
You can't handle the truth.
Leah, right? I mean, Abby, save some for the rest of us. All right, everybody, you guys have been fantastic. That's it from me. Good night. Thank you so much, Abby, and everyone else. God bless you.